Greetings to all you beautiful people in the internet. Welcome to my channel. Today's topic, we're going to focus on the 5 keys to effective communication. But before we move forward, I'm just going to take you back to memory lane. If we all remember in those days when we used to do the telephone games, when somebody will whisper a sentence to one person next to them, and then the person next to them will whisper the same sentence to the person next to them, and then the person next to them will whisper the same sentence to another person, another person, another person. It moves on until it comes to the last person, and then that last person will be the one to reveal what was the secret sentence that was whispered to the first person. And most of the cases, the end part of the sentence, it always becomes a different sentence compared to the first one that was whispered. So it's a completely different sentence. But everybody will laugh about it because it's just a game. However, what's not so funny about this is when an effective communication goes wrong that leads to errors, it leads to chaos, it leads to conflict, it leads to problems, it leads to your family life. When it becomes a destructive information or a communication that can affect in our daily basis, like your job place, your relationship, or your business wise, wherever you are, when that ineffective communication goes wrong, that will brings all these chaotic matter problems. That's where the problems of ineffective communication comes. Now, I'm going to give you the 5 keys to have an effective communication. Stay tuned and listen. Number 1, you need to choose your word carefully and wisely. Whether it's a written or speaking format that the communication went to, you need to think carefully. What are you going to say? What are the sentences you're going to put down? And think of the person that you're going to pass on these sentences to. Would they able to understand whatever information you're passing to them, or whatever sentence or written narrative or speaking you're speaking to them? Do they actually understand what you actually say to them? So you need to choose your words carefully and wisely, and ensure that the person that you're passing the message on, either by writing or either by speaking, they actually understand the sentence that you are passing. Also, you need to ensure that the message that you're passing on to this individual, do they understand what you're saying, or are they just misinterpreting what you're saying? So number 2, listen to what others says to you. Pay attention to whatever the other person is saying to you. If that person is talking to you or telling you something or whispering something to you or telling you a sentence, you need to listen carefully. If you find out that you are trying to respond to what the other person is saying by just answering, you might not get it right. But if you listen attentively to what the other person is saying to you, and then at the end, you need to clarify what has been said to you. It's better for you to listen attentively. If something that you don't understand, it's better for you to ask the person to repeat the question again, or to go through the sentences that has already been just communicated to you, so that you will understand what has been said to you, rather than taking the impression, oh, you understand what the person say. Ask again, is this right? Have I get it right? You need to ask for clarity. What the person has said to you, did you actually listen, or did you actually understand what the person has says to you? So if there is something that you don't understand, don't be shy. You can ask the person to repeat the question again. And also, it will be very helpful, even if you understand what the person says to you, what the person communicated to you. It is very helpful if you can ask them to repeat what they said again, and you can also reinstate what the person said, just to make it clear that both of you understand each other, that the person that passed the message to you, actually you understand the message, both of you understand, you're in the same page. Number 3 of the 5 keys to effective communication is consider your body language and your tone of voice. when you're communicating with each other. That is very, very important. When you're speaking, make sure that your tone of voice is not saying something different to what is coming out of your mouth. This is very, very important. Let me just give you as an example. If you're like a salesperson or you're making a presentation regarding a product, or maybe you're trying to advertise this product, you're advertising this product to your audience, trying to impress them how this product is very good. So you're trying to advertise and making compliments on what this product has done for you. But at the same times, your body language is showing something different. Maybe you are frowning, you're not making good eye contact to your audience that you're making this product, you're trying to praise this product, you're not making good eye contact to them, and you're frowning, then your message can be taken to a different format. People will now start looking at you and say, what is wrong with this person? You are advertising this product, but at the same time, you don't look happy. Would people take you seriously? No, they won't take you seriously. Even the message you're passing on by trying to advertise this product, nobody will take you seriously because your body language, your tone of voice doesn't tell well. And also, you are not making any eye contact to your audience. So they won't come to you. And also, if somebody is trying to talk to you or somebody is speaking to you, and then your body language, the way it appears, if somebody is standing and face to you, and maybe you turn your body on the other side, maybe put your hand somewhere else, like your face is another place, that means what the person will think that, oh, this person is not listening to me because I am speaking to you, but at the same time, your body language is proving to me that you're not listening because you're not attentive, because the way you position your body language, you position it as if you don't care, you don't listen to what I'm saying, you're not watching me, we're not doing eye to eye contact, you're not standing face to face, maybe you turn your back away from the person who is talking to you. What will the other person thought of that? Will think that you're not actually listening to what I'm saying. So you have to be very, very careful the way you position your body language and your tone of voice. It goes a long way when making a conversation with somebody else. You need to show them that you're listening attentively. Your tone of voice needs to match to what is coming out of your voice. At the same time, your body language should be the same length of the person who is talking to you. Listen attentively. Show them that you are listening. By the way you position your body language will actually ensure to the next person that yes, you're actually listening and you are responding by the way your body language presents. So number 4 of the 5 keys to effective communication is write less and say more. What does that mean? Nowadays, we all know that communication is more on written, like writing emails or sending messages via text messages on WhatsApp, on Skype, whatever the communication style the person uses, more on written. The reason why is this very, very important. One, to keep record keeping in case something goes wrong or in case something misinterpreted by the other person, then you can prove that, oh, this is the email that you sent. But the difficulties is sometimes when you're typing a message, I don't know if all of you have experienced this. Sometimes when you're trying to type a message or an email to somebody, sometimes you wanted to sound as politely, but sometimes the way you sent that email to the person that you sent it to, that person might misinterpret the message that was sent. Sometimes people can misunderstand the way the message presents. Because the problem is, if you can't see the person face to face and you don't know what their body language is positioning, you might not understand what the message is saying just by email. Sometimes some people can misinterpret when emails come, thinking that, oh, maybe you are pushing them, or maybe you are telling them off, or maybe you are saying something that they're not actually doing. But at the same time, sometimes you might meant the message in a different way, and other people might mean it in a different way. Some people will think that you are trying to control them, or maybe you're trying to tell them to do something that which they are not necessarily doing. But sometimes it's a different way you're sending it. But because that person in the receiving end of the email doesn't see your body language or neither your tone of voice to see when you send this message via email, maybe you meant it in a very friendly and polite, full way. But by receiving it via text message or via email, they wouldn't understand what the response of the email is. They would think something different, thinking that, oh, maybe this person is telling me what to do, or maybe you're telling me my own job when I know what I am doing. But if you have that conversation face to face, they can tell by your tone of voice, by your body language, that what you meant is different from what you've written. So have that in mind. Sometimes write less and say more. Sometimes at my workplace, when emails are going on and on, maybe I'm trying to request something from somebody from another end, then I find it very, very difficult because you're sending email, the person is responding by email. Maybe you're not going anywhere of the information you require from this person. So what do I actually do? I'll just ask the person, is it okay for me to give you a call so that we can talk this through via telephone? Maybe it's more helpful. Or is it okay for us to do a Skype, maybe face to face, then we can discuss this whilst we are seeing each other? It's help. When we do the Skype calling or the Zoom meetings, you can see the person, then you can talk face to face. Then we can all sense our body language, and then there and there, whatever issue that needs to be ironed out, it will iron out there and there. It will solve, we will resolve that issue just by having that face-to-face Zoom meeting calling. And then we can iron out, because we can even laugh through it, because we all see each other's face and our tone of voice. Then we can all sense, oh, though actually it's you. You look so very nice. You look so calm. Seeing in person. Sometimes we do have that, isn't it? Oh, it's good to replace the email to the person. Sometimes when you see the person, you actually see, oh, they are cool, isn't it? Have you ever experienced that? I've just experienced that a lot. Sometimes I even say, why don't we just be doing Zoom meetings rather than sending emails? It makes it more easier and shorter. And it's less time consuming. When you do that, it's less time consuming, because when you send emails, sometimes it takes a while for somebody to respond to you. But when you just Java them or by Zoom, it's easy as that. Things get solved very easily and quickly. So it's a time management as well at that point. So let's move on. The last 5 keys to effective communication, that's number 5, is you need to know when to stop. That's the last one. You need to know when to stop. There are sometimes, especially when you are having those long meetings, and then somebody else will start talking. This conversation is just going on and on and on and on and on when you're communicating. Have you ever experienced that? When you're in a team meeting, or maybe it's not even a meeting, or maybe you are in a conference side when all of you are gathering or talking, and then you see one person starts completely just talking. The conversation is just going, and you are standing there, you're listening, maybe you've got other tasks to do, and this one person starts talking, and then you will be sitting there, when is he going to keep quiet? Because I've got other things to do. Have you ever experienced that? I have experienced that a lot, quite often. Sometimes I will just wanted to go and cover the person's mouth. Can you be quiet? So, on a serious note, sometimes know when to stop. When you're communicating with someone, know your limitation. Know when you have to give somebody else a chance to talk. I'll give you an example at my workplace. I won't name the person or the person's profession. When we are always having an handover, and then we are handing over with all the patients, we are handing over. But when it comes to this particular person, the conversation will just go on and on and on. If you leave that person to talk, they will be there for over 20 minutes just talking for one patient. So sometimes I have to interrupt and say, please, we haven't finished all the patient handover yet. Can we finish first? Then we can come and discuss this patient in details. Otherwise, we're going to stay here. We're not going anywhere. We still have to talk on other patients. So you need to know when to stop. And when you're having a conversation with someone, you need to go straight to the point. Because when you go round before coming to the point, people will become very less interested on your message. So just go straight to the point. When you're having a conversation with someone, go straight to the point. And then know when to stop. Because when you go on and on and on, you make the communication not to become very interesting for the next person. So my advice is you talk and allow the other person to respond, and straight to the point when you're communicating. So don't make the communication become ineffective. But when you go straight to the point, you make the communication very, very effective, and people will love to listen to you. So let me just go over the 5 keys to effective communication once more. First one is you need to choose your words carefully and wisely, and make sure that the person that you're talking to actually understands what your message that you're passing to. Number 2 is you need to listen to what the other person is saying to you, and listen attentively. When the person is passing message to you, you need to listen. Don't interrupt them. Don't behave as if you understand. You need to ask again, what is the question? You need to make them repeat what the question is, so that you can understand what has been said to you, and also repeat what the person said, to ensure that you all communicate and you understand clearly. Number 3 is consider your tone of voice and your body language. When you're having a conversation with somebody, let your words that is coming out of your mouth matches the tone of your voice, and your body language. Always position it to the person that is talking to you, to ensure that they know that you're listening to them. Don't turn your back on the person that is talking to you. They will actually know that you're not listening. And number 4 is write less and say more. Sometimes I know it's helpful to write emails to keep record keeping, but sometimes actually some emails, when you send them to someone, they can misinterpret the effectiveness of the email or the message that you're sending to them. But having that face-to-face conversation, even if it's a face-to-face, or even if via Zoom or via Java, whatever technique communication you're using, if you're seeing the person face-to-face and then you're talking, you can match the person's tone of voice and their body language to what the message they are presenting, so that you won't bring confusion when it comes to emailing. So I'm not saying to stop emailing. You can email, but more when you see that the email is going on and on and on and on. Actually, sometimes it's good to just break down that email and ask, is it okay if I can invite you via Zoom so we can discuss this more deeply? So number 5, you need to know when to stop. Sometimes when a communication is going on and on and on and on, it loses effectiveness. So you better to go straight to the point, so that the next person will understand what the message is saying. If you're talking to your audience, go straight to the point, rather than going round, and you become very ineffective, and people will get less interested on whatever topic you're saying. So go straight to the point. If you come so far watching this video, thank you so much for doing so. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, so that it can help the community grow, and also it can help somebody else learn something from what we've all shared today. Take care now. I'll see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye.